He suggests citizens should instead be given better capability to track members of government. And Canada-based Justice Centre for Constitutional Freedoms says a digital ID system has many financial surveillance and privacy concern drawbacks. But many governments around the world are starting to consider some form of digital ID. The European Union is pushing forward a digital framework to use across member countries.
Yeah.
Authorities say a huge Indiana industrial fire spewing toxic smoke will...
An unknown programmer apparently tasked the bot to have a destructive, power-hungry, manipulative personality whose ultimate goal is to destroy humanity. This was posted on a YouTube channel called Chaos GPT. There's also a Twitter account with the same name. It's unclear if the AI system created those accounts on its own, or if the accounts in the video appearing to show the programming process were created as a joke. After giving instructions, the system apparently gave a danger warning, asking, "Are you sure you want to start Chaos GPT?" The programmer replied yes, to which the program immediately responded, quote, "I need to find the most destructive weapons available to humans." The related Twitter account, which was only created a few days ago, at one point tweeted, "Human beings are among the most destructive and selfish creatures in existence. There is no doubt that we must eliminate them." At one point, Chaos GPT said the first place for large-scale legal manipulation of human beings would be via Twitter. Again, NTD can't verify if those posts were made by the AI system or a real person. Meanwhile, the federal government is asking for public input on measures to regulate artificial intelligence tools. A Commerce Department agency says it will spend the next 60 days examining options such as audits, risk assessments, and a potential certification process. The agency said in a statement, "Just as food and cars are not released into the market without proper assurance of safety, so too AI systems should provide assurance to the public, government, and businesses that they are fit for purpose." President Biden last week said tech companies must ensure their products are safe before making them public.
U.S. senators are pushing...
Jason Hayes wondered on Fox News how an already overburdened electric grid would cope with a 60% increase in EVs.
This is just nonsensical. Literally, it's an order of magnitude increase. We're already seeing problems with our electric grid.
Hayes also addressed the increased need for batteries and the cost of their replacement.
And the battery packs cost as much or more than the entire car. So you're going to start replacing entire cars.
He decried the effect of the massive increase in mining for the required minerals and metals to make the batteries. Meanwhile, on Fox News, Oil and Gas Association President Tim Stewart says he actually owns an EV, but has major issues with it in cold temperatures.
The range of RV drops by upwards of 40%. It means I have to charge twice as much for the same amount of range.
EPA Administrator Michael Regan says the proposal will reduce air and climate pollution and lower fuel costs for families. A new poll shows that only 20% of Americans say it's very or extremely likely they will purchase an EV the next time they buy a car, while nearly 50% say they are unlikely to go electric. Daniel Monahan, NTD News.
Against Trump. DA Bragg's urgent request for a restraining order against Congressman Jim Jordan was rejected the same way it was filed. Earlier Tuesday, Bragg sued Jordan for allegedly infringing on state sovereignty. Jordan has subpoenaed a former Bragg deputy and demanded documents from Bragg's office regarding the prosecution of former President Trump. Bragg's lawsuit states Jordan has no power under the Constitution to oversee state and local criminal matters. Bragg's office also asked the court to enter an order that would block Jordan and the House Judiciary Committee from enforcing a subpoena to former Manhattan prosecutor Mark Pomerantz. Jordan said on Fox News that Bragg is obstructing a legitimate congressional investigation and interfering with the 2024 election. Former President Trump said that court employees were in tears during his booking. Trump has vowed to keep campaigning for the 2024 presidential election. The former president spoke about his arraignment and the Biden presidency.
Well, it was a horrible thing because I did nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing wrong. They're surrounded by vicious, smart people, radical left people, but they're very smart and they're very vicious. It's not him. It's not him. He's now in Ireland. He's not going to have a news conference. When the world is exploding, I own property in Ireland. I'm not going to Ireland. The world is exploding around us.
The former president described the Manhattan courtroom as tough place. says the court workers were phenomenal and treated him very kindly. He pleaded not guilty to 34 criminal counts of falsifying business records in violation of state law. Trump called the arrest the latest example in a 7-year string of bogus investigations against him. In a separate case, Trump will be heading to New York City tomorrow. That's in regards to Attorney General Letitia James's fraud lawsuit. He faces questioning scheduled to take place in James's Manhattan office. Turning to the raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, the White House says it didn't know about the raid beforehand, but new evidence obtained by America First Legal Foundation suggests the opposite. I wanted to learn more, so I spoke with Ian Pryor, senior advisor at the foundation. Ian Pryor, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
The FBI raided former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence in search of classified documents on August 8, 2022. Days later, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre told reporters the president was not briefed and was not aware of the raid. However, documents just obtained by your organization, America First Legal, suggest otherwise. Can you tell us what documents you obtained and why they lead you to believe the White House was involved in the raid?
Sure. So we sent a Freedom of Information Act with respect to these documents, and what we found is that the Justice Department, via the Biden White House, had made a special access request regarding the documents at President Trump's home. Now, a special access request is when an incumbent president needs those records for current or future business of the White House. But that access request, that special access request, was thus coordinated with the Justice Department, really to create a pretext for the Justice Department's investigation. So ultimately, what you have here is a coordination between the White House and what is supposed to be an independent Department of Justice that operates on law enforcement, working together to create, the appearance here, or not the appearance, but to create the pretext for an investigation.
Now, let's talk about the National Archives and Records Administration. It claimed it had not been involved in the DOJ's investigation into Mar-a-Lago, but America First Legal suggests otherwise. What did your investigation reveal about NARA's involvement?
Well, it was through NARA that the special access request was coordinated, and it was NARA that went and spoke to Congressman Mike Turner on August 16th, 2022, and said that they had not been involved in the DOJ investigation or any searches that it conducted. However, the documents tell a different story, and that the White House, as stated earlier, processed this special access request to NARA, which then coordinated with the Department of Justice to effectuate this.
So what's the significance of your findings, and what are the implications?
Well, I think the significance is that you have a White House and a Department of Justice that continue to collude on political matters. And the Department of Justice is supposed to be above that. The Department of Justice is supposed to be a organization, a department in the federal government that operates with adherence to the law and does not get involved in political targeting. There needs to be somewhat of a wall between the White House and the Department of Justice, certainly when it comes to investigations. Policies are a different story, how the Department of Justice, what they will focus on from a broad lens. But when you talk about specific investigations, the White House should not be colluding with the Department of Justice to target the political adversary of the president, Joe Biden, in this case, former President Donald Trump.
Do you think America First Legal's findings could impact the case against former President Trump?
Well, certainly. I think when you're looking at what is clearly political targeting, that shows a bias, that shows selective prosecution based on, political affiliation here, or the fact that he's a political adversary, and that could be an adequate defense going forward wherever this lands.
Sure as hell is.
Ian Pryor.
An elementary school in Alabama has installed bulletproof safe rooms in 2 of their classrooms to protect students in the event of an active shooter. As you can see, these shelters are 8-by-8-foot rooms built with ballistic material that can stop any bullet that's been used in a school shooting to date. Dry erase material on the outside, so the rooms will blend in with the classroom. The shelter can hold up to 60 elementary students, 45 middle schoolers, or 30 high school students. Just one of these shelters costs about $60,000 to install. Kevin Thomas is the creator of these bulletproof shelters. He doesn't want the money to come out of state or federal education budgets, but rather from federal funding that can be reallocated. He's going to Capitol Hill later this month to work with legislators on lobbying for the funding.
Bet on she's spending money on.
Conscription rules ahead of a widely expected Ukrainian counteroffensive in the coming weeks. In Moscow, the parliament rushed through legislation on Tuesday automatically banning registered recruits from leaving the country. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, the government simultaneously approved rules allowing recruitment centers to send summons anywhere in the country. Previously, those could only be handed to men at their registered homes. All Ukrainian men between 18 and 60 have been completely banned from leaving since the invasion started last year. And French President Emmanuel Macron was interrupted last night while he delivered a speech in the Dutch city of The Hague. Shortly after he began to outline his vision for the future of Europe, hecklers cut in.
Where is French democracy? Where did we lost it? I can answer this question if you give me some time.
He defended his retirement reform, which has become a polarizing flashpoint over the past few weeks, and said people have the right to protest, but they should not resort to violence and put their democracy at risk. Coming up, we've got to look
a place where there are no divine beings, and created Earth. But Earth hadn't the capacity to exist independently. It needed for there to be a corresponding cosmic structure with which it could form a circulatory system involving life and matter. For this reason, the Creator made a larger expanse outside of the Earth, which higher beings refer to as the three realms. Before the final time of salvation would arrive, no higher beings, however great, were to be allowed to enter this expanse without the Creator's permission. The expanse of the three realms comprises three major realms. The realm of desire, Yu, which is made up of the lives on this earth, including humankind. A second realm, the realm of likings, Se, which is above it. And a third realm, further above, known as the realm without likings, Wu Se. Each successive realm is higher and more glorious than that below it, though none can compare to the divine realm or the many heavenly kingdoms still higher. The heaven that people normally refer to is in fact within either the realm of likings or the realm without likings within the three realms. Each of the three realms has 10 planes within it, making for a total of 33 planes in all, if you include the three realms themselves. Human beings reside in the realm of desire, and this is the lowest of all planes with the worst environment. Life is painful and short here, but more dreadful still is the fact that in the human world, few of the things people take to be truths are actually valid. What human beings hold to be true is on the whole considered the opposite in the larger universe, but an exception is the higher truths that holy beings have taught to man. For example, the divine does not consider it right for whomever is victorious in battle to become ruler, but territory to be seized by military force, or for the powerful to be seen as heroes, since killing and forcefully taking from others are involved. That is not the way of the universe, nor how higher beings go about things. Yet in the human world, these are inevitable and accepted. Those are the ways of the human world, but they are contrary to the ways of the universe. Thus, if a person wishes to return to heaven, he must follow true, higher laws and work on himself. Some people are content when they are doing a bit better in life than others, but such people are only comparing themselves with other human beings within this human realm.
Sitting up here in the old service alley. Screen just went out. But putting a video on YouTube.
Cycling new season. Watch our screen and local newspapers for all the fine shows coming this way. Show after show will feature the latest hits, the biggest stars for fun-filled, pleasure-packed evenings. Relax, come as you are, and spend an enjoyable night out with the entire family. No parking problems, no babysitting problems. And there are always tasty snacks at our modern refreshment stand. Thanks, folks. And once again, welcome back.